can see you've got a glint in your eye, Val. What are you cooking today?
Well, hello, for a start. And today, I've been given a treat and my favourite breakfast in the world. Breakfast isn't just this thing of some, cereal or more exciting cereal with little marshmallow bits. No, that's not my kind of breakfast. I cook breakfast quite a lot. I like really varied breakfast. Sometimes I'll have a little curry for breakfast, or maybe some pickled herrings with, a cucumber and a hard-boiled egg, whatever the case may be. But a friend of mine knocked on the door the other day and said, Val, I've got some woodcock for you. And this is a very, very special bird. If something is shot, it has to be used and enjoyed. But there's some quite grisly, it's quite a grisly breakfast, and you'll see, because first...
Can you show me it then?
Yeah. Would you like to see one in the feather?
Pardon?
Would you like to see one with its clothes on?
Of
To
course.
put it in context. Well, in the winter palace of my freezer, here is the woodcock, a beautiful thing. When these are down on the forest floor, because they live on the ground, dibbling around for little beetles and worms and stuff, they become completely invisible and live in the woods and on the verges in the marsh areas. But that is a woodcock. Right, trousers up, bowl of water. The meat is dark and purple and really succulent, not dry at all, and will make your eyes roll in your head when you eat them with sheer pleasure and joy. But unlike other birds, the woodcock is a nervous little thing, quite rightly. It's down on the woodland floor with lots of things that could pounce on it and eat it, like a fox or whatever it is. So when they need to take off, they need to get away quickly. So they defecate, basically. They empty their intestines so they can get off the ground and away faster. Clever little trick. So then they're served with the guts leaking onto the toast. All that kind of inky innards. It's really tasty. Now, they'd normally be roasted just with the guts left in, but I'm actually going to mash the guts up and make a little butter, which gets spread on the toast, which will put the woodcock on top. So I actually need to. And why are the heads on? Because before they're roasted, you poke the head through the leg, roast it together, and then you split the head with a knife. And I'll show you that later. Okay, so this is rather gory. I've got a very sharp hunting knife made by that giant Alex Pole. He's such a large blacksmith that I can't help imagining him standing on the side of a hill, banging his axe on his shield. If you walk towards this 7-foot blacksmith with an enormous right arm, you'd wee in your pants and run away like pots and pans. But he's a very tender blacksmith. I made this blade in Norway with him, where he comes up to teach, and then he gave it to me the other day and said, I put a handle on your knife. But also this knife, when I made it, I went back in to finish it, and it fell off the table and dived very neatly through a 0.5 centimetre gap in the floor. And we thought all was lost. 2 days later, combing the seaweed, Alex found it. So this means a lot to me, this knife. It's razor sharp. So I'm just going in the back. I'm kind of going in its bum, basically. And then I'm going to just take that out. And there's the liver, there's its little heart. There. There's the woodcock's heart.
A lot of people would find that bit gruesome.
Well, a lot of people might find it gruesome, but this is food. And, where's your food from? Here. And you have to kind of deal with it. It's all very well to just go into the supermarket and pick it up all kind of packaged, but then you kind of forgot what it ever was in the first place. And you might miss all these little treats. I'm sure some of you don't see this as a treat, but I certainly do. I'm a visceral sort of cook, and I think it's important. Okay, now I just want to clean these guts a bit. I just want to get, most of the blood off, make sure there's no... See, look, it's all nice and clean.
What is that?
So this is its gizzard where it munches up. So all the things it eats then gets ground up in here. The only bit you need to get rid of is the gizzard. These are its intestines. Right, there we go. That's all pretty clean. A little bit of liver here. Another heart. Okay, some liver, delicious. Okay. Nice big knife. And here we go. I'm going to really mince this up super fine. Chop it into a really fine mince.
So what have you chopped up here then?
So what I've chopped up is the heart, the livers, kidneys, and the intestines. Big grind of black pepper, and then 1 anchovy. You don't want it to be overwhelmed with anchovy. Just 1, just for that kind of salty, little kind of salty edge. A breakfast of this, a woodcock on toast, accompanied by a tiny little glass of whiskey. When you step out into that blue, crispy grass, seeing your breath in the air, you'll be ready for anything. This is cold weather joy. Okay, in it goes. A little bit of Worcester sauce. A big, just going to chop that up slightly. About 70 grams of butter. And then I'm going to mash that. So that is gut butter. Doesn't sound so great if you call it gutter. So gut butter. I just want to make the butter really smooth. Some bread. I went to the local deli yesterday and they had a very nice bread. And I said, I'll take that please. And he said, that'll be £6.25. You know what came out of my mouth? Off. I realised what I'd said. I said, no, I'm not going to buy a sourdough loaf for £6.25. You must be out of your mind. Right, so these I'm going to lightly toast. Just a little bit of butter. I'm not going to brown them or anything. They're going straight in a very hot oven. Quite often you see the bacon going on top and then you put the salt and pepper on the bacon. What's the point in that? Salt and pepper has to go on the woodcock, not on the bacon. And then I've got some beautiful bacon here. Smoked, which I prefer for this. And I'm going to give it a beautiful little jacket. Well, apart from make sure that there's always fat weeping down it as it cooks to keep it nice and moist, it also gives the smokiness to the woodcock and it really suits it. And then what you do is you take, this is important Paul, you take the beak and you put it through the leg, thus. It's all rather, I mean, you know, this is of, you know, that gory eating from days of old. Right, we're getting there. Now, because I want the bread to fry, I'm also going to butter the bottom of the bread. Turn it over. Got our gut butter.
Butter does sound a bit weird.
Gutter. How do you prefer? Do you prefer gutter? I mean, I thought, you know, there's nothing, no such thing as a straightforward meal in this house. Okay, and then you take your woodcock top, and just a little bit of whiskey. I don't want to soak the bread, but just we'll put a bit more on when they come out. I mean, look at that. Okay, that's on about 200 the oven. And that is good.
What did the guy say? Hawaii? What? Oh, for f***'s sake, we're supposed to land in Norfolk. I know, I'm sorry. No wonder the North Sea seemed so much bigger than last year. Why? Because it was the bloody Pacific Ocean, you idiot. Right. What should we do then? Try a pina colada?
There is an amazing smell coming out of here. And yes, slightly pink is what you want.
What did you do then?
I just felt it for a bit. I want a bit of resistance. These should be really pink inside. Not raw, but really pink. Final little dribble of whiskey on top. That's breakfast, so one of those on a plate, little glass of brandy or whiskey, and then out into the great outdoors. Look at that.
That looks good.
This is good. So, look, I got the table laid. Little glass of whiskey. Morning steadier. Right, I actually just want to taste. When you're eating, apart from the fact you want to mix everything, I want to taste everything in its own right as well. And this is the little gut butter toast. It's outrageous. You've got that lovely kind of liver and offal taste. That little anchovy that's not fishy as well, but has kind of seasoned it and gives it a depth. It's just fabulous. It's fabulous. The dark arts.
Tell me about the secret.
I'll tell you about the secret when the secret is ready to be revealed. Okay, now look, perfectly cooked, nice and pink inside. Oh my God. In fact, God, there's so many combinations. I just want to describe to you woodcock on its own. It's a heartbreaker. It's truly extraordinary meat. It's kind of, I guess, a little bit grousey, delicate but strong. So this is for Mr. Director. I want you to tell me.
It is delicious.
The smoky bacon sweat over the bird juices, the crispy toast. It really is astonishing. Now, this is slightly gruesome, but if I take the head, strange time to be showing you, it's all a bit grim, but this long beak is what they push down into the mud and bog to feel the little insects with and then nibble. And then what you do is you split the head. You can see the woodcock has a very large brain, unlike me. And then you take a spoon. This is my special woodcock brain spoon. No, not really. And look, you take out the brain. And that is creamy. It really is a delicacy.
Wow, brain for breakfast.
You know, an intelligent start to the day. God alive. I mean, it's just unspeakably delicious.
Will you be able to do anything after this breakfast?
Loads. That is a cooked breakfast. But if you'd like to go and experience another outrageous crunchy snack, please go and see our Patreon site. Thank you. Love and Woodcocks. by the way, I know I said goodbye to you. Do not throw that carcass away. Make a little soup or a little gravy. Put in a soup just with some barley in it, maybe a little bit of potato as a broth. It just makes the most outrageous soup.